Start the stage party music.
You may be seated. Good afternoon. I am Rob Schaefer, Chairman of the University of Nebraska Board of Regents. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you to this ceremony today to install Dr. Jeffrey Gold as the 9th President of the University of Nebraska System. We are fortunate to be able to be here and to gather here in the People's House on this important day for the University of Nebraska and our state. As always, it's a great day to be a Nebraskan. An investiture ceremony is an ancient academic tradition that continues to have value in modern times. Once a university president is appointed, a ceremony is generally held at a later time in his or her tenure, which adds no legal authority to his or her role. In fact, the new executive could function just as well without one. However, the investiture of the office of the president does mark a significant milestone in the life of a university. And today's ceremony is infused with that ritual. It has an unlimited amount of pride and optimism in this room today, and it provides an opportunity to bring together the institution and the public in which it serves. Today, we join with Nebraskans in celebrating and reflecting upon and acknowledging the important role that higher education plays in our society. And significantly today, we make a strong public statement of support for the university and its new leadership. We are pleased that so many of Dr. Gold's family members, friends, colleagues, constituents, and supporters of the University of Nebraska are here today to share this special day with him. And we want to recognize those who could not be here in person, but who are watching or listening live. Now would you please rise if you are able for the singing of our national anthem by Christian Shields, a student from the University of Nebraska at Omaha, followed by an invocation from the Reverend Daniel Hendrickson of the Society of Jesus, President of Creighton University. I would like to welcome today's color guard, comprised of members of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, Army, Navy, Marine Corps, and Air Force ROTC detachments. Please direct your attention to the flag, and pursuant to an act of Congress, those who have served in the military may salute even though not in uniform. Gentlemen, please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you very much, Christian. That was just absolutely beautiful. Let us pray. God of all, we humbly ask for your presence among this auspicious occasion as we celebrate the installation of Dr. Jeffrey Gold as the 9th president of the University of Nebraska System. Today marks the beginning of a new era, one that steps from excellence toward the extraordinary. Let Dr. Gold continue to raise the University of Nebraska to a place of remarkable heights across its campuses in Lincoln, Kearney, and Omaha, and its many other satellites, as it provides a world-class education to those who look to the great state of Nebraska for guidance in transforming their dreams into realities. Help Dr. Gold to build on the accomplishments of his predecessors and apply the benefits of his renowned expertise and his lived experience. We pray for his success. We pray, too, for all who interact with the University of Nebraska System, for parents who instill in their children ambitions of mind and heart, for students who come to the university confident they will receive an outstanding education and life-changing opportunities in the classroom and the research laboratories, on the playing field, and beyond, for educators who simulate curiosity, conversation, and deeper inquiry, for faculty and staff from every division or department across all University of Nebraska campuses. We welcome students as scholars and mentor them throughout their academic careers, and for alumni who proudly use their degrees to build a brighter and better future for those living in our vibrant Nebraska communities and countless points around the nation and the world. May we all be inspired by the aspirations and the agility of Dr. Gold, as he upholds and nurtures the noble ideals and the rich outcomes of higher education. And with every step in his leadership journey, may Dr. Gold rely on your goodness and faithfulness to guide him. We ask these things in the name of Christ, our Lord, and every faith tradition that blesses those here gathered. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Hendrickson, and also thank you, Christian, for the national anthem and your voice. Fantastic. The University of Nebraska was founded in 1869, less than 2 years after it became the nation's 37th state. The mission of this new land-grant institution was to afford inhabitants of this state with the means of acquiring a thorough knowledge of the various branches of literature, science, and the arts. This mission has stood the test of time. Almost a century and a half later, after its founding, the university continues to serve Nebraskans through quality teaching, research, and engagement. We strive to have a significant impact on the lives of our students and all those that we serve. As Nebraska's only public university, we have a special opportunity and obligation in this regard. The university is an institution that binds Nebraskans together while contributing greatly to the economic and social well-being of the state. With campuses and research extension facilities that span the length of the state, our impact is felt widely. Virtually every Nebraskan is touched by the university in some way. Come this Saturday night, so's Colorado's football team. The University of Nebraska is fortunate to enjoy significant support from its elected leaders of our state, and especially in the communities in which our campuses are located. I would like to recognize those who serve as public servants who are in attendance today. Please stand as I call your name, and I would ask the audience and the members here today to hold their applause until all have been recognized. First, the members of the Board of Regents. Vice Chairman of the Board, Paul Kinney of Amherst. Regent Tim Clare of Lincoln. Regent Barbara Weitz of Omaha. Regent Elizabeth O'Connor of Omaha. UNL Student President Elizabeth Herbin. Regent Jack Stark of Omaha. Regent Kathy Wilmot of Beaver City. Regent Jim Shear of Norfolk. UNK Student Body President Sam Schroeder. UNO Student Body President Asani Adaham. And UNMC Student Body President Pranita Devarahu. And not, but to leave out our most highly ranking official here today, the one and only Honorable Jim Pillen, Governor of the state of Nebraska. What's that? I'd also like to take an opportunity to introduce members of the Nebraska legislature who are in attendance. Senator Rita Sanders, Senator Dave Merman, Senator Megan Hunt, Senator Rick Holdcroft, Senator Tom Brandt, Senator Tom Brewer, Senator Lauren Lippincott. We also have in attendance today Nebraska Secretary of State Bob Evnen, as well as former Governor David Heineman, former U.S. Senator and former Governor Ben Nelson, and former Nebraska Senator John Stinner. They, as well as any other elected officials that are in the audience today, we thank you for being here. We appreciate your support for the university. Would you please stand and accept our appreciation for all that you do for our state, your community, and the University of Nebraska. Now I would like to introduce other distinguished guests who are here today. I ask each of them to stand as I read their names and remain standing until all of them have been introduced. First, members of the senior leadership team for the University of Nebraska. Chancellor Rodney Bennett from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. Chancellor Joanne Lee from the University of Nebraska-Omaha. Interim Chancellor Charlie Bisek from the University of Nebraska at Kearney. Interim Chancellor Deli Davies from the University of Nebraska Medical Center. Chris Kaborik, Senior Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. Stacia Palzer, Senior Vice President and General Counsel, and she's also serving currently as our Interim Corporate Secretary. Brett Blackman, Vice President for Information Technology and Chief Information Officer. Dr. Chris Cradaville, Interim Vice President for External Relations. and Dr. David Jackson, Interim Executive Vice President and Provost. Mike Boehm, Vice President and Harlan Vice Chancellor for the Institute of Agriculture and Natural Resources. Brian Hastings, President and CEO of the University of Nebraska Foundation. Please welcome our University of Nebraska Institute directors, Major General Retired Rick Evans, Executive Director of the National Strategic Research Institute, Dr. Peter McCormick, Executive Director for the Doherty Water for Food Global Institute, and Dr. Walter Gilliam, Executive Director for the Buffett Early Childhood Development Center and Institute. We are also joined by several senior members and former senior members of the University of Nebraska's administration teams from the past, whose vision, dedication, and hard work have contributed to the success and momentum that the institution celebrates today. Please welcome Martin Massengale, Emeriti University of Nebraska President, as well as interim presidents Jim Linder and Susan Fritz. Also, please welcome Chancellor Emeritus Ronnie Green of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln and our recently retired Chancellor from the University of Nebraska, Kearney, Doug Christensen. Finally, we have three former colleagues who were on the Board of Regents with us: Chuck Hassebrook, Bob Ferris, and Kent Schroeder. Our head marshal for the day is Dr. Robert Gorman, Associate Professor of the Classics and Religious Studies at UNL, and the team of associate and assistant marshals who volunteered their time. Faculty representatives participating in the processional, all members of the University of Nebraska faculty, staff, or student body that are in attendance, as well as all alumni of the University of Nebraska. We're also joined by leaders of a number of Nebraska educational organizations and institutions, including our state colleges, community colleges, and private institutions. Their presence sends a strong message that we will take and work together with everyone across this state to continue to grow a skilled workforce for Nebraska, and one that is going to remain and always be competitive. We appreciate all that they do to ensure student support and success across our great state. Would our higher education colleagues please stand and be recognized? Finally, I would like to acknowledge the university staff members who volunteered their time to help plan today's investiture ceremony and related events. The Investiture Planning Committee includes university campus and foundation employees who work diligently behind the scenes to make this celebration today possible. Would those colleagues who participated in the planning of the investiture please stand and accept our appreciation. It's a tradition at the investiture of a president that representatives of the community and the university offer words of welcome and support to their new leader. 12 individuals have been invited to bring greetings to President Gold on behalf of their constituencies that they represent, those being the Nebraska Congressional Delegation, the State of Nebraska Board of Regents, university students, University of Nebraska administration, university faculty, university staff, university alumni, the University of Nebraska Foundation, the Nebraska philanthropic community, the Nebraska education community, and the Nebraska community at large. After I introduce the first speaker, other special guests will follow introducing themselves. We will begin with the Honorable Deb Fisher, United States Senator.
Thank you, Regent Schaefer and members of the Board of Regents, distinguished guests, and all of those in attendance. It was a privilege to be asked by President Gold to speak today at this very historic event. And it is a special privilege to honor our exceptional new president and someone I consider a personal friend, President Jeffrey Gold. President Gold has an impressive educational pedigree. He is exceptionally intelligent, and he puts his heart and soul into his work. But what sets him apart, and why the Board of Regents rightfully selected him for this critical role, is his dedication to the University of Nebraska System, his care for each person he encounters. President Gold has spent a full decade investing in our state's university system. He began at the medical center the same year the Ebola epidemic broke out, and he persevered through the end of the COVID-19 epidemic. He's faced challenge after challenge with tenacity, and he's led countless students and professors to success. Both the University of Nebraska Medical Center and the University of Nebraska System at large have flourished under that leadership. President Gold put his roots down here at our University of Nebraska because he sees both its brilliance and its great potential. The University of Nebraska has grown in size, in scope, and in excellence over the years. Today, it is thriving, from its agriculture research to its medical center, and from its institution in our state's heartland to the campus in our urban core. The future of the University of Nebraska holds even more excellence and even more progress. President Gold will be at the helm of that progress, and I know he will do a remarkable job. I look forward to seeing how our university system grows, and I look forward to many more years of working with President Gold in his new, well-deserved role. On behalf of Nebraska's federal delegation, I offer my sincerest congratulations. President Gold, we wish you all the best in your new position.
Good afternoon. I'm Jim Pillen, have the extraordinary privilege of being the 41st governor of the extraordinary state of Nebraska. President Gold, President Gold's family, welcome to this extraordinary house of the people. My fellow Nebraskans and all the guests from across the country, welcome to the most extraordinary house of the people in the entire United States of America. Just take a minute to stretch your neck as President Gold gave a gift of our ceiling here in the Rotunda. My favorite chamber is behind us, the Warner Chamber. It reminds me every time I'm in it, because all of the murals are of the Native American heritage that we have. And President Gold, I would love to share one of the extraordinary moments I've had in the first 20 months as governor that I've learned that has had an impact on how I see and how I think. And this was when we met with tribal leaders up in South Sioux City, Nebraska, about 60 days into being the governor of Nebraska. And at the end of the meeting, one of the tribal leaders, Alonzo Denny of the Sani Sioux tribe, said, "Mr. Governor, can I teach you what my grandfather taught me?" And I said, "By all means." And he said, "When we're together as a people to make things better for our family, our community, it lasts a long time." I said, "I got it." He goes, no, Mr. Governor, my grandfather taught me that it lasts for 7 generations. 7 generations. I don't know about everybody in the Rotunda this afternoon, But before that, I had no ability to think that far. I was thinking about my grandbabies and maybe their babies. But Chancellor President Gold, I can assure you that I will partner with you. I congratulate you. I will partner with you for our kids so that we, together, working side by side, can make an incredible impact for the next 7 generations. Could be not more proud to call you my friend. We have a lot of good stories in the last 10 years of working together, and I look forward to the years ahead, and can't congratulate you and welcome your family. God bless you and Godspeed. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor Pillen. We are fortunate to have a governor who is a strong champion of education and for our state as a whole. We appreciate your leadership and look forward to our continued partnership. It's now my pleasure to offer comments on behalf of the Board of Regents. It was almost a year ago that the board took its first steps in our national search to find the 9th president of the University of Nebraska. We knew we had a tall order in front of us. Our university was in a strong position when President Ted Carter announced his departure, and we were determined not to hit the pause button. The needs of our students and those of our state are all too important for us to stall. As a board, we declared that our goal was to find someone who could build on the University of Nebraska's momentum and take us to even higher heights. Someone who would put our 50,000 students first and who understands the faculty are the heart of our great institution. We also wanted to find someone who could effectively build relationships with policymakers, business leaders, farmers, ranchers, donors, and quite frankly, all Nebraskans, based upon the shared goals for growth and success of our state. This was not an easy task, but the board decided that Dr. Jeffrey Gold was the person to fill that important role for not only our university, but for our state. In his first 10 weeks, I believe now we're on day 67, is that correct, Dr. Gold? Dr. Gold has kept a full calendar. He's engaging with Nebraskans across the state. He has traveled the state, visited campuses, and talked with stakeholders about why they envision and what they envision for the state of Nebraska and for our university. And I know that Dr. Gold wants to continue to spend as much time as he can traveling the state and meeting the great people of our state in order to get to know them better and to be able to continue to listen to their ideas about the university's next chapter. After all, it would take a truly great team effort to bring the University of Nebraska to even a higher level of excellence. None of us are capable of maximizing the university's full potential on our own, but when we bring everyone together, we truly can exchange ideas and talents and put everything on the table to accomplish great things together. I believe the University of Nebraska's best days are still ahead of us, and I believe that Nebraskans share that conviction, and our most exciting chapters are still yet to be written. President Gold, congratulations on behalf of the Board of Regents. We look forward to working with you to achieve a bright, bold future. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Sam Schroeder, and I have the great privilege of representing the students of UNK at the Nebraska Board of Regents. And serving alongside Regents Elizabeth Herbin, Ishani Adidam, and Pranitha Devaraju, all from UNL, UNO, and UNMC respectively. Together, we represent the more than 50,000 students as the student regents at the University of Nebraska Board of Regents. The student regents serve a one-year term, and in that year, we work to make sure that the student voice is heard at the highest levels of the university and the state as well. This year, the 4 of us student regents will be the first to work with Dr. Gold in his capacity as president of the NU system. Last year, student regents were the group tasked to find the next president of NU along with the board. And I can certainly say the right decision was made. As Dr. Gold emerged as a priority candidate through the president search, us student regents would listen to the public forums held on all of our campuses, where we would learn of Dr. Gold's long track record of serving students. And since taking over on July 1, Dr. Gold has taken special initiative to connect with us student regents, holding special meetings to discuss the student perspective and the betterment of our institution. As student regents and as students in general, we all want a leader who will put the students first, and I'm proud to say that Dr. Gold is committed to this principle. So, on behalf of the student regents and the over 50,000 students that we represent, and that you now serve, Dr. Gold, we wish you the best of luck, and we can't wait to see what you will accomplish as the president of the University of Nebraska System. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. To our distinguished guests gathered here in our historic State Capitol building, and to those of you viewing the ceremony online, good afternoon. I'm Rodney Bennett, Chancellor of the University of Nebraska, Lincoln. It has been probably 50 years plus since I've been asked to stand on a platform, on a little step at 6'5". I didn't know what to do when I got here when there was a step. But nonetheless, here we are, and so we shall proceed. President Gold, as Chancellor of the University of Nebraska, Lincoln, and on behalf of university administrators, it is indeed my pleasure to congratulate you on your investiture as the 9th president of the University of Nebraska System. Like we have heard you say many times, I'm a proud Nebraskan by choice. And like you, I have learned quickly that on campuses across the system, there are intelligent, talented, dedicated individuals who are willing to innovate, collaborate, and work hard as we envision and realize a bright future for the University of Nebraska. All of us are gathered here today, whether we were born here or made the choice to live and work here, whether we are longtime Nebraskans or new to the state, whether we are administrators, students, faculty, staff, alumni, are eager to support you in your role as president. As administrators, we have a strong sense of opportunities and challenges of the office of the president. As administrators, we know the important responsibility that comes with the great privilege of leadership. As administrators, we are pleased that the Board of Regents has selected a president with a distinguished academic background, as well as proven leadership ability and an established lengthy record of achievement. And as administrators, we know how high the stakes are that you succeed. Nebraska is depending upon us, and we offer our full support to you. President Gold, thank you for all that you have done as a higher education leader for the state of Nebraska. We look forward to leading with you for our students, for our faculty, and for our staff. Congratulations again on your investiture.
Good afternoon. I'm Ann Anderson-Berry, the Executive Director of the Child Health Research Institute and a Professor of Pediatrics at the University of Nebraska Medical Center. It's an honor to be here with you today and to be representing the faculty in this celebration. At UNMC, we have had the honor and the privilege of working with Dr. Jeff Gold for over a decade. a decade which has been inspiring and impactful for the university, the faculty, our students, and the community we serve. Prior to 2014, UNMC was an excellent medical center with growing educational and clinical programs, biomedical research, and community engagement. With Dr. Gould's arrival to UNMC that year, his consistent and clear leadership sparked a shift from a quest for excellence to a quest for being extraordinary. He led an increase in world-recognized research, enrollment of talented students, and led development of innovative programs. As this last decade has progressed under Dr. Gould's leadership at UNMC, our actions show that we can and do lead the world. We are world leaders in our response to Ebola, the SARS-CoV-2 pandemic, in medical simulation training to ensure our students are prepared to enter highly technical fields with their training in the Davis Global Center, and in our biomedical research in HIV, cancer, as well as in our strong partnerships with the Department of Defense. The message from Dr. Gould is consistent. UNMC possesses the talent and skill. He ensures we have the resources necessary for us to meet our own highest expectations. As a faculty leader, I have the privilege to know the humanitarian side of Dr. Gould. He cherishes relationships with his administration, faculty, and staff, and will move mountains to help someone in need of medical care. He is still close with his pediatric heart surgery patients, and he holds his family, especially his grandchildren, closest to his heart. He embodies Nebraska values. I am excited to see where the next decade will take the University of Nebraska. With Dr. Gould as president, we clearly expect to maximize our potential and lead the world in our work across this system and across our great state. On behalf of the faculty of the University of Nebraska System, congratulations, President Gould.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the entire staff of the University of Nebraska, it is my distinct honor to extend a heartfelt welcome to all of you on this momentous occasion, the investiture of our 9th president. My name is Ashley Ostransky. I currently serve the UNO campus at the Office of Strategic Marketing and Communications as the Director of Operations and as the UNO Staff Advisory Council President. Today marks a significant milestone in the history of our institution. We gather here not only to celebrate the appointment of our new leader, but also to reaffirm our collective commitment to the mission and values that define the University of Nebraska. Our university is a place where academic excellence, innovation, and community engagement come together to create a bright future for all. As members of the staff, we take great pride in supporting all endeavors of our institution. We understand that our roles are crucial in fostering an environment where learning and discovery thrive. It is in this spirit of collaboration and dedication that we welcome our new president, Dr. Gould, whose vision and leadership will undoubtedly guide us to new heights. To our new president, we offer our support and our enthusiasm for the journey ahead. We are confident that your leadership will inspire us to reach new milestones, forge new partnerships, and continue to uphold the standards of excellence that define the University of Nebraska. Once again, welcome to all, and congratulations to Dr. Gould. Let us embark on this exciting new chapter with optimism, determination, and a shared commitment to the future of our beloved university.
Good afternoon. My name is Jim Linder. I'm currently the Chief Executive Officer and Board Chair of Nebraska Medicine, but before that, I was a UNMC graduate in 1980, and then I joined the faculty at UNMC in 1983. And it's really heartwarming to look out at this audience and see people I've known for over 40 years, either as colleagues, as friends, or as mentors and collaborators in terms of the regents and other university leaders. It's a great day, and I'm delighted to be here to make some remarks regarding Dr. Gould's service at his investiture. As alumni, we have experienced transformative power of education at the University of Nebraska. My education at UMC was the foundation of countless opportunities, as it is for my fellow alumni. The university has shaped our lives, those of our families, and the future of Nebraska and beyond. Today we celebrate Dr. Gold as the 9th president of the University of Nebraska. For over 10 years, I have worked with Dr. Gold. Many of our activities have been intertwined, and I can unequivocally state that I, students, faculty, staff, elected officials, alumni, donors, and the educational community are united in our enthusiasm for his vision for the university. He is committed to excellence in education, research, and service, and will propel the university to new heights. This will create countless opportunities for our faculty and students. This will not be an easy journey, because we know from media and other sources that higher education is expected to evolve with societal expectations. Dr. Gold, no one is better qualified than you to lead the university during this time of transformation. As you embark on this journey, please know that you have the full support and enthusiasm of all Nebraskans to advance the university, its academic missions, and its future. Future generations of students should have the same opportunity that all of us have had as alumni to achieve greatness in their career, to support their family, and to grow this state. Congratulations, Dr. Gold.
Good afternoon. I'm Angie Muleisen, and it's my pleasure to be representing the University of Nebraska Foundation today as the chair of the Foundation's Board of Directors. And I do have a deep connection to the university because it has helped multiple generations of my family succeed. And I'm sure many of you in the audience have had the same experience. And that's why it's so important that today we have the right leader and the right team behind that leader, because they are going to affect future multiple generations to come. We also need a leader who can be a collaborator. Collaborate with the legislature, with the business community, with the philanthropic community, and also ensure that every student has the right and opportunity to get a degree, as well as to stand firmly behind the faculty with their innovative ideas and their research. And I really believe, and so does the Foundation, that Dr. Gold and his team are the ones to get this done. He has the intelligence, the leadership, and he also has the desire to continue to learn and collaborate. And best of all, he's been here 10 years in various leadership positions, and he's a Nebraskan by choice. And so what I would like to say on behalf of the Foundation, we're thrilled to have Dr. Gold. We're going to do our best with our Only in Nebraska campaign to give him the resources he needs and to build the relationships with all Nebraskans. And we would like to give a very warm welcome and thank him for his service, and we will do our best to support him. Congratulations, Dr. Gold.
Good afternoon and greetings to my fellow lovers of Nebraska. My name is Nancy Keegan. I'm from Omaha. I'm a longtime supporter of the university and the state, and I am honored and humbled to be speaking to you this afternoon on behalf of the philanthropic community of Nebraska. Now, in actuality, there is no way that one person can represent the philanthropic community of Nebraska. The needs of the state are much too broad. Our flourishing community supports arts, education, medicine, faith, research, engineering, and on and on. The needs of the state are immense, as I had said, and very important to the philanthropic community. President Gold has demonstrated that he is an outstanding ambassador to the philanthropic community. Educational philanthropy is not just about providing funding. It's about a shared vision between the university and the private sector. It's about investing in ideas, people, and projects that will elevate lives and communities. Now, I've had the privilege of working with President Gold since the time he arrived in Nebraska. We've served together on several boards and numerous committees, and I know firsthand that he is an amazing leader. He's brilliant, strategic, collaborative, passionate, and he has endless energy. He's also a genuinely authentic individual and is a cherished friend to my husband Don and me. We could not ask for a better leader, and I applaud the Board of Regents for their selection. Our philanthropic community has a history of contributing to some really exciting projects at the university. Some examples include research that has resulted in crop and drought-resistant crops, in vaccines for pets and livestock, improved wind turbines, preserving legacies such as Willa Cather, and there's been so many more successes. And we've all witnessed the extensive fundraising success at UNMC in the last decade. There's been tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars raised. And the outcomes of this fundraising have been astonishing. World-class cancer research and treatment, and phenomenal research into personalized medicine, just for a couple of examples. But now, as president of the entire university system, President Gold faces an expanded group of challenges. And I know that we couldn't ask for somebody better to take on those challenges. So, for example, one of the big challenges we have here in Nebraska is balancing rural and urban priorities. And it turns out that Dr. Gold has been a very vocal advocate for our rural communities for years. He hosts a weekly television show on RFD TV called Rural Health Matters. And I don't think he's missed a show in 5 years, which is incredible with his schedule. He's also the recipient of the Heartland Heroes Award, the inaugural recipient, for his tireless support of our rural communities. Now, I only have time for that one example, but President Gold has demonstrated loyalty and passion for our university time and time again. So on behalf of the Nebraska philanthropic community, I congratulate President Gold and his family on this momentous occasion. We look forward to working with you and the entire University of Nebraska community to make lasting, positive changes that will benefit our state, our nation, and our world for generations to come.
Good afternoon. I'm Mike Baumgartner, Executive Director of the Nebraska Coordinating Commission for Post-Secondary Education. President Gold, on behalf of Nebraska's higher education community, I bring you greetings and offer you our heartfelt congratulations on assuming the presidency. Often a university president arrives brand new to an institution and a state, and it takes some time to become familiar with the people, the places, and the practices. In your case, we have benefited from your leadership, your vision, your presence across the state, and your cooperative spirit for a decade. You come to the presidency familiar with the variety of missions of our higher education institutions. As Chancellor of the University of Nebraska Medical Center, you worked with our community colleges, which train many of our Nebraska's nurses and healthcare technicians, with our state colleges, which partner with the Medical Center to educate medical and health professionals who return to our rural communities, and with Nebraska's independent colleges and universities, which prepare healthcare professionals for service in Nebraska and beyond. But significant as they are, your connections to Nebraska's higher education community have not been limited to medical education. As former Chancellor of UNO and Executive Vice President and Provost of the University of Nebraska System, You grasp how Nebraska's colleges and universities persistently seek out new ways to meet the education, engagement, and research needs of our students and our communities, our businesses and our farms, our country and our world. How students navigate between campuses and even systems in pursuit of quality education that is right for them. How affordability, student services, and sense of community can make the difference between starting college and completing a degree. And how Nebraska's colleges and universities must collaborate to serve the diversity of Nebraska's students and lifelong learners efficiently and effectively. Higher education in Nebraska, as elsewhere, faces numerous challenges, but also abundant opportunities. Nebraska's higher education community looks forward to working with you and the University of Nebraska shoulder to shoulder as you take on both.
Good afternoon. I'm not Susie Buffett. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here this afternoon, but she sent this message, and I'm going to read it to you. It's an honor to welcome Dr. Jeffrey Gold as the 9th president of the University of Nebraska System. I'm Susie Buffett, and I'm representing the Nebraska community at large today. As the daughter of one of Nebraska's most famous citizens, some may say I loom larger than life as a representative of the community. While that may be true, in a state of 1.9 million people, the University of Nebraska also looms larger than life. It is the state's only public university and a driving force in our economy. The university touches the lives of every Nebraskan, from the 11,000 graduates that receive their diplomas each year, to the doctors and nurses who help heal those who are ill, to the teachers who educate our youngest citizens, to the football team that we cheer on Saturdays in the fall, and the volleyball team that fills the stadium with record-breaking crowds. My own daughter, Emily, received her master's in social work from the university. And as a mom, watching the university touch her life and watching her, in turn, touch the lives of the students she works with every day does give me some street cred to represent the community at large. Today I speak as a community member and as a friend to recognize Dr. Gold for his proven leadership in the past, to welcome his continued leadership as the president of the University of Nebraska System. With intelligence, careful listening, decisiveness, and a bold vision, I have watched Dr. Gold lead both the University of Nebraska at Omaha and the University of Nebraska Medical Center over the last 10 years to achieve tremendous growth in academics, research, and innovation. Now he brings those same strengths to the entire state as he helps to weave the smaller communities across Nebraska into the larger community. Higher education is an investment in our state and our future. It transforms lives and makes Nebraska a better place to live and work. I'm proud to support this university and to support Dr. Gold in his new role. Dr. Gold, the future of this great university is in your hands. The community stands behind you. We look forward to what you will accomplish and celebrate together with you on this very special day. And I agree with that message.
Thank you to all of those who have offered greetings on behalf of key constituencies and partners of the University of Nebraska. We are pleased that you could participate in today's celebration, and we look forward to continuing to work together closely as the university enters its next era. It is now my pleasure to introduce the UNL University Singers, led by Peter Eklund, Professor and Director of Choral Activities, singing Unclouded Day by J.K. Allwood.
That was a beautiful and amazing performance. Please join me in thanking the members of UNL University Singers and conductor Peter Eklund. I'd also like to recognize and thank the Nebraska Medical Orchestra Chamber Ensemble and the UNK Student Brass Quintet with conductors Robert Benton and Tim Farrell for their inspiring music we've been enjoying all day. I am Paul Caney, Vice Chairman of the University of Nebraska Board of Regents. I proudly represent District 6 on the board. It is my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker today, General John Hyten. General Hyten served as the 11th Vice Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff after a distinguished 40-year career in the United States Air Force. Before retiring from the military in 2021, General Hyten's role as Vice Chairman made him the nation's second highest ranking officer, responsible in supporting and overseeing a joint military requirements for nearly 1.5 million service members and their families. Previously, General Hyten led the U.S. Strategic Air Command from 2016 to 2019, and the Air Force Space Command from 2014 to 2016. He was deployed in Southwest Asia as a director of the Space Forces for Operations Enduring Freedom and Iraq Freedom, and received numerous awards from the Defense Department for distinguished service. We are honored to have General Hyten here today to commemorate the investiture of our new president. Please join me in welcoming General.
Thank you very much, Paul. Good afternoon, everybody. Before I get into my prepared remarks, I just want to make 3 observations. First, to Chancellor Rodney Bennett, it's the first time I've ever stood on a box. It's like the strangest feeling in the world, isn't it? Second, I have newfound respect to the faculty, staff, and the Board of Regents of this university or any university. Because for 40 years, I wore the uniform of our country. And every time I got up on stage wearing the dress uniform, I came off on stage, I'd usually complain to my wife, Laura, how hot that uniform was. These robes are like an oven. Oh my gosh, how do you guys deal with it? Every commencement, every time. It's crazy. I can't believe how hot I am. Second, and third and last, to the Gold family out here in the front row. You should be really proud of your husband, your father, your grandfather. And to the kids, the grandkids in particular, don't worry, it's almost over. So it really is an honor and a privilege to be here today, to participate in this important event. I can't thank Dr. Gold enough to do that. I'm pretty sure that everything that can be said about Dr. Gold has already been said, but it hadn't been said by everybody, so that's my job. Nebraska is truly a special place, and this great uniform is one of the linchpins that make that so true. And I'm a big fan of symmetry in this world, and I can't help but notice the amazing symmetry of this date. 10 years ago this date, Dr. Gold was installed. You know, I'm going to use a different word. I mean, this is an investiture ceremony where we install Dr. Gold. He's already the president of the University of Nebraska, so I'm going to use invested, because we're investing in Dr. Gold today, and he's investing in us. And that just seems an investiture ceremony a much better word than installed. So 10 years ago this day, Jeff Gold was invested as the Chancellor of the University of Nebraska Medical Center. And 5 years ago, this very day, he was invested as the Chancellor of the University of Nebraska Omaha. And today, September the 5th, he's being invested as the President of the entire University of Nebraska System. 5 years ago,
one of Nebraska's native sons and finest citizens, a former boss of mine, Chuck Hagel, gave the keynote at Dr. Gold's investiture at the UNO. In his address, he quoted one of my favorite figures from American history, Ralph Waldo Emerson. And I thought in order to maintain the symmetry of the day, I would continue that tradition and begin my remarks and frame my remarks with a quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson. So this very week in 1837, Emerson gave a speech where he said, "Character is higher than intellect. A great soul will be strong to live as well as to think." This university has chosen a great soul in the person of Jeff Gold to be your next president, to be our next president. He is without a doubt a person of tremendous intellect, educated in engineering and applied mechanics, a medical doctor, first as an adult, then a pediatric cardiac surgeon in New York City, then a teacher and an educator. His intellect is beyond question, but it is truly his character that sets him apart. I spent over 40 years in the military and was lucky enough to have 2 assignments at Offutt Air Force Base here in Nebraska. They were 2 of our favorite tours of duty. First, because I was lucky enough to be in command both times, but also because my family and I got to experience all that is Nebraska. In 1996, as a lieutenant colonel, I was a squadron commander here, commanding for the first time in what I was convinced was going to be for the last time. But then through a series of miracles that are beyond the pale of any human to understand, I was appointed as a 4-star general to be the commander of U.S. Strategic Command, STRATCOM, and I commanded for the last time. So Nebraska was my bookends. And it was during this last assignment that I first met Jeff Gold. He introduced himself to me following the change of command. He was the chancellor of UNMC at the time, and real quickly, as he's going through the line, because that line lasted 3 hours, he described the amazing capabilities that he and his team were building at UNMC. And he invited me for a visit. And then he told me that if I or anybody in my command ever had a problem with medical care in Nebraska, to just call him. Call him right away. He'd be able to help. And he gave me his card, and I kept the card. Shortly after I began my command, a young soldier and his family were newly assigned to STRATCOM. It was their first time away from the Army, first time off an Army post onto an Air Force base. It was completely different for them. Everything was different. And they also had 2 special needs kids that needed very specialized medical care, which is why they were assigned to Offutt, because Omaha is one of the few places in the country where you can pretty much get any medical care that you need. But they couldn't figure out how to navigate the military system. They couldn't figure out how to navigate the hospital. They couldn't figure out how to navigate TRICARE. They couldn't figure out how to get in. So the soldier ended up at a newcomer's event in the headquarters in the old Building 500 at Offutt. I give an overview of the command, welcome all the newcomers into the command, and then all the folks that have things to do on the base or in the community come and explain how things work. And my wife, God bless her, she comes to those newcomers events and she sat through the whole thing every time to welcome the new people into the command. And during a break, she noticed that there was a soldier kind of off to the side that looked uncomfortable, upset. There was something not right. And opposed to me, who is clueless about those things, she figured it out. I should go talk to him and see what's going on. So she did. She walked up, and he shared his frustrations. And his frustrations were basically that he had 2 very special needs kids that needed to see a very specialized doctor. And he knew that the doctors were somewhere in Omaha, but he could not find them. So I asked my command surgeon to get involved. He couldn't figure it out either. So I dug out the card. I just dug out Jeff Gold's card, and I called the number. And he answers the phone, which is amazing in itself. He's a pretty busy person, but he answers the phone, and what's the problem? So I described the problem, and he says, here's my phone number. Have them call me, I will fix the problem. The bottom line, the result, those 2 little kids were in to see the right specialist the very next day. As for paying, because imagine when that happened, my lawyers were just freaking out. I called Jeff up and I said, so we gotta make sure we pay for this. How are we gonna pay for it? And he said, don't worry, insurance will eventually catch up. It always catches up. And it did. But what was most important is that the only thing that was important was taking care of those two kids. And he did. And that meant everything to me, but more importantly, it meant everything to that soldier. Because that soldier one day is confused, upset, not understanding what STRATCOM is. He's just worried about his kids and his family and how do I take care of them. And the next day, everything is solved. One day he's distracted, he's confused. The next day, I'm all in. Just tell me what I got to do, coach. Put me in. And that demonstrated to me the character of Jeff Gold. Character is the most important thing. He's a busy man, but the few times I called him was something important. He somehow dropped everything and fixed that problem. So I then began to work with Jeff and the university on infectious disease response capabilities, which match very clearly with what's needed in this nation for chemical and biological attack response options, because believe it or not, that's also a job of U.S. Strategic Command. Why was Nebraska working these issues? Why was Jeff Gold working these issues? It wasn't just for the state, but it was for the entire country, where we faced significant challenges, and we didn't have those capabilities in this country. And Jeff identified that as a gap and said, this university can solve that problem, and he started down that path, and it has been frustrating for years, but I continue to work these issues with the university to this day, and a lot of the reasons because of Jeff Gold. And I've seen Jeff out in the community. I've walked on his face in the barroom floor. I watched him interact with community leaders who also called him friend. I toured UNMC many times with Jeff. Each time became more impressive than the last. I visited UNO on multiple occasions. I got to visit with the students and the faculty and the staff, and watching Jeff interact with them it's actually an uplifting experience, because every person he talks to gets his complete attention, and they love it, and he loves it. And oh, by the way, he loves Nebraska. If you think he's a New Yorker, well, life has changed. He loves Nebraska. He is all in. He wants this university to be the best in everything it touches, and he'll put forth all of the energy necessary to make that happen. Academics, research, leadership, everything. I'm convinced the University of Nebraska is about to achieve new greatness under his leadership because I have seen him do it. This is Jeff Gold, a great soul and an individual of the highest character. I am lucky to call him a friend. So congratulations to the citizens of this great state. Congratulations to the Board of Regents for selecting the right candidate. Congratulations to the university. And finally, congratulations to Jeff. We're proud of you and just proud to know you. Thank you.
Thank you, General Hyten, for those remarks. We are grateful for your service to our great nation. Now, President Gold, would you please join me at the podium? President Gold, by the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of the University of Nebraska, and with the support of the faculty, the staff, students, alumni, and friends of this great university, and before your family and other distinguished company gathered here today, it is my privilege and pleasure to install you as the 9th President of the University of Nebraska. As a token of the powers and privileges and the authority and responsibilities of your position, I now bestow upon you the official medallion of the office, and in accepting this medallion, you receive the powers and the obligations along with the challenges and the joys which attend to serving in higher office. You have your collective best wishes and our highest hopes in my personal regards and congratulations. Thank you.
All I can say is wow. Thank you, Regent Schaefer. And thank you to all of the Board of Regents for the trust and confidence that you have placed in me. I pledge my best to fulfill this responsibility, strengthened by each and every one of you here today. We gather today in the People's House as an opportunity to celebrate the transformative power of higher education and to honor the university's rich history of service to the state and the nation, while asking ourselves how we can rise to even greater heights. To Governor Pillen, thank you for your remarks. I've enjoyed our strong working relationship for over 10 years. Yes, I do enjoy pork. And I look forward to continuing to work together and to know that we share a goal to make Nebraska the very best place to live, to work, to study, and to raise a family. To the faculty, staff, and students of the University of Nebraska, to those who have offered greetings or honored us with your musical performances, and wow, those were great musical performances, and to those who helped organize this event, to my friends and to all Nebraskans, I thank you. I am humbled to stand before you today, grateful for your presence, and even more grateful for your support. My special gratitude to my family are here today. My wife, Robin, just recently we celebrated our 50th anniversary together. Yeah. To my wonderful children, Matthew and Stephanie, and my daughter-in-law, Emma, and especially to my two wonderful grandchildren, Jonathan and Claire. Jonathan and Claire, do you want to stand up for a minute? There you go. The light of my life. Many thanks as well to my UNMC, my UNO, and my Nebraska Medicine family, to the alumni, to the members of the United States Congress, to the unicameral legislators who are here, to current and past Nebraska community members who brought me here for my first visit in the fall of 2013 under the leadership of then-President J.B. Milliken, and kept me here as a proud Nebraskan for more than a decade. My thanks as well to all of our current and former campus chancellors, system presidents and vice presidents, community leaders, and so many others. And of course, to the platform party today and all of those who helped make this event so special. These take incredible planning and logistics, and it's just amazing to see it all come together after all of this work. I want to particularly thank retired Major General Paul Friedrichs and former Assistant Secretary of the United States Administration for Preparedness and Response, Dr. Robert Cadlack, who are both here. I might point out that Paul and Bob and John share a very unique bond in that they have all received honorary degrees from this great university, and it has been an incredible pleasure and honor to work with you, and to have you come across the country for this means a great deal. To General Hyten and Mrs. Laura Hyten, thank you for defending our freedom, for wearing the cloth of our nation, for your friendship, and for joining us today. And by the way, today is their 37th wedding anniversary, so we can congratulate them. As you heard, this setting, the House of the People, was very intentionally selected. Also, this date and time exactly 10 years to the day and to the hour for my UNMC investiture, and exactly 5 years for my UNO investiture was also intentionally selected. However, this day is surely not about me as an individual, but is a celebration of our great university system, a recognition beyond doubt that we are and will always be of, with, and for the people of this great state. This day and this historic setting in our state's capital also serves as a call to action, a call for me and a call for all gathered here today, a call to steward this partnership with the people of Nebraska, to strengthen and launch our precious sesquicentennial legacy to new future heights, a call to action to steward this great university from, as the theme says, from excellent to extraordinary. Our university system, founded in 1869, less than 2 years after the founding of the state of Nebraska, was formally structured in this building, in the chamber, exactly across from where I stand today in 1968. This act of the legislature and the signature of the governor began an incredible legacy on a local, statewide, national, and global level. A legacy in the classroom, in the research laboratories, medical clinics, extension offices, and on the hardwood and on the gridiron. A legacy of competing with and competing for the very best, and a legacy of winning. Over the last decade, I have traveled the state, meeting with tens of thousands of individuals and communities of students and parents, patients and caregivers, farmers and ranchers, meeting with military and civilians in rural and urban communities, meeting with Nebraskans from every socioeconomic background, business leaders, military leaders, and titans of the philanthropic communities here and across the nation. Meetings in the halls of Congress and our state legislature, as well as with Nebraskans who live and work in other states and countries literally around the world. Over the last decade, and even more intensely over the last 10 weeks, I've traveled from Falls City to Scottsbluff, with more than a dozen stops in between, and have traveled over this decade as well from Nebraska to our nation's capital, to the United States Congress, the Pentagon, to the White House, and beyond. And the purpose of this is to listen carefully, to learn from you, to learn from the people of Nebraska. And what I've heard and what I've learned over and over and over again, from students and parents, I've heard about the importance of a high-quality, accessible, and affordable educational experience. A university that provides world-class faculty and staff to bring out the very best in every learner. University programs that equip, uplift, and empower our next generations, that teach others how to think and not what to think. Programs that protect the safety and wellness of our learners and at the very same time enrich and enhance their lives across the arts and the sciences and so much more. They expect a university that builds both competence and confidence in our graduates and creates alumni that engender the confidence, the respect, and the admiration by others along their life's journey. From the broader public, I've heard about a different type of confidence. Confidence in being a strong and sustainable economic engine. A university that builds the 21st century workforce, creates more and stronger partnerships across public and private sectors. I heard about a university that competes and wins, that is both financially efficient and operationally effective, and rigorously stewards public and private investments. A university that sets bold and audacious goals and is never afraid to work hard, never afraid to compete, and will muster every ally and every resource to win and win and win again. Specifically, over the past weeks, I heard about Donna from her grandmother, a first-generation student from a rural community who was able to pursue her dreams to become a physician because of our affordable quality programs. I heard from John about the research done in our extension centers, has substantially increased his cattle feedlot production over the last 4 decades. I then heard from Bethany, one of the largest employers of our graduates, about a unique workforce pipeline that has dramatically grown their business to new heights. And then I heard from David about his 14-year-old daughter who recently received a diagnosis of advanced cancer and is now in complete remission and back in school. I've heard from former and current governors, former and current United States senators, and by the way, Senator Fisher, thank you for your remarks very much, members of the House of Representatives, former cabinet secretaries, members of this unicameral legislature, and so many others, each of which their career was activated and catapulted forward by their educational experiences, all nurtured at the University of Nebraska. In every instance, true excellence. However, the theme of this ceremony is not simple excellence, as if it was ever simple, but the trajectory from excellence to extraordinary. It is based upon loud and clear messages shouted across Nebraska from the Front Range of the Rocky Mountains, across broad river valleys, from the farms to the boardrooms, from the cornfields to the corners of our city streets. This theme is carefully selected to inspire momentum and a bold, deeply embedded, ever-present call to action. A theme selected to inspire more than incremental or opportunistic growth, but to inspire true aspirational change. As many know, I have long defined excellence as a journey, as a quest, as a destination never truly achieved, always more bold, always more challenging, and at the same time, always more inspiring. But the concept of extraordinary, extraordinary, requires setting and achieving even more lofty and aspirational goals. Extraordinary aspirations require more than a set of clearly defined goals, strategies, tactics, but aspirations of an extraordinary nature require a fundamentally aligned culture. They require a consciousness of purpose and purpose that is shared not by some, but is shared by all. I reflect on long decades of a surgical career and my experiences, a career of caring for others. I've learned so much of the power of the team, a team that is in many ways a family with a deeply embedded and shared culture. Much more than knowledge and surgical skill practiced in the operating theater for more than 30 years, but a calling for caring. I fully understand and appreciate that a caring professional is a trusted provider of care into whose hands a fragile human life is placed on a day-in and day-out basis for decades on decades. Years of learning, training, practice as an individual, as a professional, and more importantly, as a team. Commitment, experience, dedication, passion for care and caring by every member of the team, practiced and honed and improved every day. I will tell you, patients and families never care what you know till they know that you care. In every way, a culture of caring is a culture of excellence. This culture of excellence of which I speak is also deeply embedded in the University of Nebraska legacy, a history of leadership, history of competition and championship programs that fills countless books, endless archives, newspapers, journals, and newscasts, and is a vibrant, and I mean vibrant, oral history from generation to generation to generation here in Nebraska. It's like it was yesterday. As a founding member of the Association of American Universities more than 100 years ago, as the first graduate college west of the Mississippi, as the creator of the first video training programs ever in healthcare, and of course, multiple national and conference athletic championships. More recently, our work, as you've heard, in public policy, health security, early childhood, water and food security, and countless other dimensions of the academics, agriculture, military, and medical care on a daily basis. Each and every has a true measure of excellence. As Senator Fisher mentioned, when the federal government asked if the University of Nebraska was prepared to care for Ebola patients in 2014, we answered the call. When our nation's most elite military leaders, such as General Hyten, needed solutions to keep our men and women in uniform safe, they turned to the University of Nebraska. When the United States Department of Agriculture considered where to stand up the nation's first and largest university-based research center that will chart the course for future agricultural innovation, they chose Nebraska. When General Friedrichs and Secretary Cadillac had the desperate need to repatriate American citizens in the winter of 2020 with a new and novel virus disease, they called Nebraska. The generous private partners and public partners see the momentum that we have and want to be part of it, measured in many ways, including yet another record-setting, high engagement, and high impact philanthropic fundraising year. Students and their parents see and feel this positive trajectory, and they want to be part of it, as we are clearly turning the corner on enrollment despite complex demographic and economic challenges that are facing higher education widely across the nation. And yet, our greatest mistake of all time would be to rest on our laurels and say that excellent is good enough. Our legacy of excellence is a solid foundation to build upon, but is not adequate. Our legacy serves as inspiration, but not as a roadmap for the pathway ahead. Leadership change, all leadership change, but particularly a university presidential change, is an opportunity to reflect, to look carefully in the mirror, to reassess with an unvarnished view our challenges and our opportunities of today, and to chart a course that is a new and bold pathway, a pathway to a better tomorrow, to an extraordinary tomorrow. Not just to chart a pathway to sustainability, but the opportunity to chart a true expedition, a quest, to chart an odyssey. An odyssey, as defined by Webster, is a journey or a voyage undertaken by one or many, a journey for a particular purpose, pursuing an arduous trip from one place to another, with the highest purpose. Thus, an odyssey that we will truly take from excellent to extraordinary. Based upon my travels over the last 10 years, and again, especially over the last 10 weeks, I know that Nebraskans expect that their university can and should set bold and audacious goals for our odyssey to extraordinary. We should set bold goals regarding student retention and degree completion. We must set bold goals regarding the scope and the excellence and the impact of our research programs, the endless discovery and creative activity. We must set bold goals for workforce development and economic impact, goals for new and trusted partnerships, and we must set bold goals for the confidence of our public and private supporters across all sectors. Nebraskans expect us to set these goals for a university-wide culture that supports and embraces all who join us on this odyssey to the extraordinary. So let us today, for the next few minutes, and I do mean just the next few minutes, explore this critical pathway and begin to define the coordinates, outline the corridors, and the vision for the future horizons of this odyssey that we will share together. Our odyssey must start with a careful assessment of where we are today, where we have been for more than 155 years, and even more importantly, where we currently have breadth and depth of excellence, momentum, and most importantly, where we have deeply committed human talent. Secondly, our odyssey must be informed by the very best of our peer institutions, and we must learn from both their triumphs and failures, not merely our typical higher education peer groups, but our aspirational peer groups worldwide. Peers not only in higher education, but leaders across business, government, military, in the arts, the athletic communities, as well as across all of the public and private sectors here in the U.S. and globally. Next, our odyssey must be empowered by collaboration, by partnerships and teamwork, not merely in higher education, but across the entire spectrum from early childhood through higher education, continuous learning, and the endless quest for human reinvention. Partnerships across every sector of education, business, and government, and many others that can and will shape and strengthen all aspects of our future. Further, our Odyssey must be engaged with not merely some, but with all of the voices of experience, their aspirations, and their yearnings, and whose passion for a better future ring clear. As a great university, we must embrace the critical ability to both hear and listen to with humility and to communicate with supporters and critics alike with transparency, to endlessly course correct while maintaining this focus on the true horizon of extraordinary excellence. Our Odyssey must also be supported by strong and secure interactions of human learning and machine learning. This critical, high-tech, high-touch interface will define every aspect of our ability to deliver on the promise and to accelerate the rate of change, to measure our outcomes, and continuously facilitate unprecedented innovation. This Odyssey must be powered and ever replenished by fuel, high energy, and a wide myriad of resources. Human talent of today and tomorrow, facilities and technology must be powered by confidence and engagement of our key stakeholders, the citizens of our state, our alumni and families, our students of today and tomorrow, and the ever so critical faculty and staff who make it all possible. We must always steward the trust of our public and private stakeholders by wise investment of our precious time, our precious talent, and our precious treasure in these partnerships. And finally, our Odyssey must always be focused on a clear, easy to understand, easy to describe horizon with a clearly set of established priorities. Horizons that are loud and bold calls to action and are described by extraordinary in every way. A horizon that is solidly embodied in every single classroom, every research laboratory, every extension office, every medical clinic, that is embodied on the hardwood and the gridiron of every athletic event. A horizon that is worthy of national news and in other ways is never even recognized or recorded. A horizon that is expressed by every member of our faculty and staff, is experienced and empowers every student, is a source of pride for every alumni, and inspires every individual and community whose lives we improve every day. Ladies and gentlemen, this Odyssey before us may seem highly challenging and perhaps even daunting or improbable, but it is very much to me, and I hope to you, exciting and empowering. It is filled with both certainty and, as well, a healthy dose of the unknown. As President Abraham Lincoln said, the only way to truly see the future is to build it. To build a future just as it was for those who left their comfortable colonial homes over 150 years ago and ventured west across uncharted trails, vast plains, wide rivers, soaring mountain peaks to till the fertile soil and become today the communities and the cultures that we challenge and we cherish as Nebraskans. As it was for them, it is also for us today. This Odyssey is based upon a clear horizon, a horizon filled with hope, empowered by an expectation to build a better life, to create the future, and as well, all of the tools necessary for this commitment are in our hands. Hard work, personal sacrifice will safeguard our journey and guide us through the unknown to an exciting and fulfilling future. Just as our forefathers who crossed the oceans, rivers, and plains in tightly knit family and community groups, we are on this Odyssey to the extraordinary together. As a family, as a community, as Nebraskans. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, here in this house of the people of Nebraska, joined by my beloved family, colleagues, and friends, I hereby, with great pride and humility, accept this presidential medallion, a medallion that is symbolic of this formal investiture, symbolic of my personal responsibility and commitment, and symbolic of this odyssey that we now share together. I thank you for joining us on our odyssey to the extraordinary, and I thank you for being with us today, and I wish all of you Godspeed on this journey together. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, President Gold, for those uplifting words and for your message today. Congratulations again to your family as we formally commemorate your installation as our university president. All of us look forward to the next chapter in the university's history, and you're going to be at the helm leading us through in creating that history. I would also like to take a moment at this time to thank General John Hyten, Governor Pillen, and all of our other guest speakers for their participation today, as well as my colleagues on the Board of Regents, senior university leaders, faculty, colleagues, and others who have added to the pageantry of this event. And of course, thanks to each of you for attending today. Everybody here, just give yourselves a hand of applause for being here and joining us. As the installation of President Gold now comes to a close, I would ask the audience to please remain seated until the recessional has been completed and that President Gold's family has also been escorted out by the university marshals. I hope all of you will join us later on this afternoon at the International Quilt Museum, beginning at 5:30, to celebrate and extend your well wishes to President Gold. Unfortunately, former tribal chairman and member of the Omaha Tribe of Nebraska and the last hereditary chief, Dr. Rudy Mitchell, has not been able to join us today. He sends his very best wishes to Chancellor, or now President Gold, and he would now like to have Reverend Daniel Hendrickson come in his place to share a benediction. Again, thank you for attending and for joining us this afternoon. Reverend Hendrickson.
Heavenly Father, thank you for your presence on this historic day. Through your word, you assure us that if we ask for wisdom, we receive it. Help us to be people of vision, committed to the education and the enlightenment of all who seek knowledge. Allow us to bring our best efforts to bear on every undertaking and with energy and enthusiasm to every task. Inspired by the example of Dr. Gold, make us also champions of consideration and collaboration. In parting, let us offer Dr. Gold our support, our encouragement, as he navigates the path from excellent to extraordinary. Shine your light on the great state of Nebraska and guide our ways as we continue to cull future generations of bright minds and big hearts. Let us go into our odyssey, filled with your peace, grace, and joy. We ask this in the name of our Lord and every faith tradition gathered here, as together we say, Amen.